that Dallas defense I saw 3 weeks ago at this point was one of the worst defenses I've ever seen in my entire life. That was the case for 4 full weeks, not just the game I saw, because the Cowboys arrived at MetLife Stadium last in yards per game at 420 and second to last in points per game in 30. And through 3 quarters, the Jets had 210 yards and 6 points. Biggest issue I see with what happened against the Dallas Cowboy defense, the Jets were able to run the ball rampantly, but this pass protection, it is imploding, and it is bad. 32 pressures the Jets allowed. 32, according to Pro Football Focus. That included 5 sacks, 10 hits, and 16 hurries. If you want to go to NFL GSIS, they had 14 quarterback hits and 5 sacks. Olu Fashanu and Membu Fashanu, a coach told me actually that was scouting this game, said it looks like that guy has regressed both in technique and confidence. And Membu, the rookie, both allowed 5 pressures. Joe Tippmann allowed 6. The line is an issue. Zach, I'm curious if you agree with this. I don't think the line is the whole issue. And here's the reasoning. Justin Fields right now, no matter where you look, Next Gen, True Media, Pro Football Focus, they're all slightly different on the specific number, but he is last on every single one of those websites in time to throw. What that means is from when he gets the ball in his hands to when he throws the ball, he is taking the longest amount of time from snap to ball. You can look at that 2 ways. Glass half full is, wow, he's got great protection and it's holding up. Glass half empty is that he is not processing, he is not reading, which, by the way, were the 2 biggest bugaboos around Justin Fields' career to this point. The reason why it's the glass half empty approach is because if you're holding the ball because you have a lot of time, you're not getting pressured at the rate that Justin Fields is getting pressured at. This season, 81 pressures the Jets' offensive line have allowed. If you look at the other quarterbacks, Zach, and we've seen this, the other guys who are have a very high time to throw as well, it's Lamar Jackson, it's Jalen Hurts, it's Caleb Williams, right? Chicago Bears with Caleb Williams have allowed 50 pressures. The Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson have allowed 56 pressures. The Philadelphia Eagles with Hurts have allowed 59 pressures. That pressure rate for the Jets of 81 is the second most in the NFL. So their quarterback is holding the ball forever, and because he's holding the ball forever, the pressure's getting home, and then he's taking hits, and he's getting just pummeled. 30 quarterback hits he's taken this year, and that doesn't include his 31 rushers to go along with his 10 sack, or his he's the 10th most sacked quarterback in the league. Remember, he also didn't play a full game there and a game and a quarter. They got to figure this out, dude. They got to find a way to speed this up with Fields, and I don't know if it's actually possible.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this as an issue in camp early, and
yeah, we were told we were wrong, though.
I know. It was one of those things, fans always get mad early in camp when you point out. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, we were pointing out how the offensive line was giving up a sack every play, and they were like, no, they weren't. Stop lying. And I think it's a combo of both things. I think the O-line has definitely struggled in the pass protection, and I also think that Justin Fields is holding on to the ball too long. So it's a bad combination. When you have Olu struggling, you have Armin Membu getting 4 penalties in one game. Like, that was his first real bad game of the season. He's actually been their most consistent guy. Joe Tippmann, Josh Myers have been inconsistent. John Simpson's getting a lot of ill-timed penalties. Like, it's across the board. There's none of these guys this last week where you could say, like, he held it all together, because they all didn't. But yeah, Justin Fields holding on to the ball too long is contributing to a lot of this. But at the same time, like, one of his superpowers, to quote the previous staff, is his ability to get away from pressure and make plays with his feet. Like, he can do some amazing things. And so sometimes the time to throw is going to be changed a little bit, because if he's running around for 5 seconds, that's going to impact, like, his time to throw if he winds up throwing it at the end of that. But yeah, ultimately it's a whole operational issue, and another part of that issue with him holding on to the ball, by the way. And that's why it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, there's no other receivers that he can rely on besides Garrett Wilson also. So, our guy's getting open. Is he getting enough blocking up front? Is he holding on to the ball too long? Like, each play might be a different answer, which is a problem also.
And teams are also now dialing up the blitz on the Jets. That's something that we knew was going to happen and knew was going to come. I mean, specifically once you saw it with Todd Bowles, because I brought it up to Aaron Glenn. Again, I've made this point on this show multiple times. Basically, did Todd Bowles, as creative as he is, show a wart within the Jets' protection that now teams were going to just pile on and pile on and pile on and pile on, and we've seen that. The Steelers blitzed 40% of the time in week 1, but then the Bucs were 47.8. The Dolphins were only 22.9, but that was because they called off the dogs in the fourth quarter with the game pretty much decided, and then Dallas blitzed on 42.4% of the dropbacks. Ridiculous. Now, I don't know how you fix it because AVT obviously isn't coming back. Fields, I don't know how, you're at the point now, this is who he is. This is just, he's going to hold the ball forever. He's going to take hits. Eventually he's going to get hurt, and then Taylor comes in, but Taylor holds the ball just as long as Fields does. So it's a really bad combination. I will say from a fantasy perspective, dude, Justin Fields has got to be one of the best quarterbacks in the world to have. I got to bring it up just because I have to find it. Do you have in front of you, Zach, what Fields' numbers are for this entire season so far?
I don't have it right in front of me. I can pull it up real fast, though.
Yeah, can you pull it up for me? And then, then I'm going to go into it because it's just a wild, sub-stat with it.
So his stats are, he has 67% completion, 754 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
As a passer. We're just looking at quarterback. I know he's rushed for another 3 touchdowns.
200 yards, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the wild thing, right? So those are ridiculously good quarterback numbers, right? You look, if you would have read those stats
on paper.
Yeah, on paper, and told me those are Justin Fields' numbers through 4 of 5 games because he missed basically he did miss a whole one against the Buccaneers. I'd be like, holy crap, dude. This is Sam Darnold 2.0. This is Baker Mayfield 2.0. The Jets' gamble paid off. Jets' gamble did not pay off. 32% of his passing yards have come in the fourth quarter. 75% of his passing touchdowns, 3 of the 4, have come in the fourth quarter, basically in garbage time. This guy is the ultimate prevent defense garbage time merchant that I have ever seen in my life. It's freaking wild, dude. And again, when the fourth quarter has begun for the Jets, they were leading by 10 in Pittsburgh, that game that probably got away from them. Then down by 17 week 2, down by 14 week 3, down by 24 week 5. The games that excluding the Tampa Bay game because Fields didn't play. So in Fields' starts, leading by 10, down 17, down 14, down 24, and that's when suddenly the defense goes to prevent. We just don't want the big plays, and that's when Fields is checking down, making throws, and these numbers are compiling. 32% of his yards have come in the fourth quarter, basically in garbage time. Real quick, this last number, Joe Caporoso, shout out him of Badlands. He does an incredible job. He tweeted this out. I can't take credit for it, but I bookmarked it because I thought it was fascinating. We've talked a lot, Zach, about the Jets' offense and starting fast and needing points, and Tanner Engstrand told us 2 weeks ago that it was, we're getting field goals on our opening drives, just not touchdowns. Yeah, no crap you're not getting touchdowns because, again, shout out Joe for finding this number. The first offensive touchdown for the Jets this year, okay, in their after week 1 when they had the really good game against the Steelers. It came when they were losing 30-6 to the Cowboys, when they were losing 17-3 to the Dolphins, when they were losing 23-6 to the Bucs, and when they were losing 30-3 to the Bills. So the Jets offense, I know some of these scoreboards look better than what they actually are. They're not even scoring until the game's over. It's true, just garbage time stat padding, which again, great for fantasy, but you need to look past the numbers because when the points are coming, when the yards are coming, when the success is coming, it's when the defense is basically dropping everyone back and saying, yeah, we'll give you 6 to 7 yards a pop, no problem, because you're just eating up more clock for us.
I had a stat I was going to tweet out last night, but I decided it was better not to poke the Jets fans bear. They are the second highest scoring 0-5 team in NFL history. So, you can celebrate that, I guess. But it's to your point. It's because of all the garbage time yards, and you feel it in the moment. When you have to, you don't have to do this as much anymore. But when you have to write something at the gun, when the game's over. If a game is a blowout, you kind of slowly stop paying attention to every single play that's happening.
Yeah.
And, all of a sudden you'll look up, you're like, oh, they scored a touchdown. Okay, it still doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Right. You look up, okay, well, now it looks like they scored a bunch. Oh, look at Justin Fields' stats. He has almost 300 yards. Yeah. And it's like one of those games where it's like, okay, so I have to write these stats down, but I can't write it in the context of it being a great game. But yeah, to your point, if you look at Justin Fields' stats, if you project them over a full season right now, are 3,204 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 867 rushing yards with 12 touchdowns. If I told you those were going to be his stats before the season, especially the 0 picks, you would have been like, oh, so the Jets are like contending for the playoffs. But like he's getting garbage time stats, kind of like Rodgers did in a lot of ways last year against bad teams and, late in games and stuff like that. But, you need Fields to do it in the first quarter. You need him to throw the ball in the first quarter and complete passes in the first quarter. Like
what you just said
67%
there
sounds good. 67% sounds good, but it would sound a lot better if you were throwing 10 passes in the first quarter and you completed 7 of them also.
That's the big one and you hit it. He needs to complete them. And the problem, and I sent this tweet, and it was basically that like the Jets were, for the second game in a row, again, felt this against the Dolphins, felt it again here against the Cowboys. I did not think they were running the ball nearly enough. And every time it would be like Breece Hall would rip off a 15-yard run. He would have a 5-yard run. They'd look at 2nd and 5, and then they'd throw, incomplete, sack, incomplete, and then the punt team would come on. And Jake Assman tweeted me this. I had a bunch of other fans tweet me that, and they were like, the guys are open. Justin Fields isn't hitting him. Garrett Wilson was open for a deep touchdown. Justin Fields is just missing him. So it's the right call to throw the ball. He's just missing the throws. Guys, we watched all of training camp. That's what Fields does. He misses throws. That's what he does. So it doesn't matter that Garrett Wilson is wide open on a deep end like he was against the Bills. Justin Fields misses him. It doesn't matter that Garrett Wilson is open on a go route against the Cowboys because Justin Fields misses him. That's what he does. So when you call plays, you need to call plays with that understanding. So yeah, on 2nd and 5, maybe you can go the play action, go route, and Garrett Wilson gets behind the defense. There's probably a 30% chance that it's hit. When if you turn around and hand the ball off again, Hall's going to get 4 yards, and now you're looking at 3rd and 1. The running numbers, Breece Hall was 14 carries, 113 yards. He averaged 8.1 a pop. Fields was 7 of 26, and Isaiah Davis on his only carry was 1 for 5. So they can run the ball wildly effectively. Every single week, they stop themselves when they choose to throw it. And it's almost like just stop over, just run it 12 straight times like we saw it at points in training camp. Just keep handing the ball off. I mean, there was a time a week ago where on 3rd and 5, the Jets handed the ball off and they got a first down. Like you can still do that, especially when you have a quarterback that you feel confident in getting quarterback sneaks. I don't know if you feel similarly to me. They're not running it enough, even though they're running it a ton.
Yeah, it's funny. I tweeted something during the game because I was thinking the same thing as you because Breece was running the ball like crazy. He had a really impressive 22-yard run at one point where like 3 guys were trying to tackle him simultaneously from low, from the middle, and from high, and he broke all of them and broke out a 22-yard run. And so I was like, just keep handing the Breece Hall the ball every single play until it stops working. And so 5 plays later, he fumbles the ball away. So I did the jinx. But yeah, I go back and forth because I do agree. But when also if you fall behind 10-0 or more, it becomes harder to run the ball every play and really make up ground. And they kind of were running it a lot, and they were running it effectively as they fell behind. But it just doesn't have the same effect as when you throw the ball. So I don't know. I hear you because Fields, he's going to miss these plays, but they also aren't even trying them a lot of the time. So I don't know. It's a tough thing, but this was the offense you chose to run when you made him your quarterback and when you said we're going to run the ball every play. And I don't know the exact solution, but
that's kind of goes back. But him making him quarterback with no quarterback competition. And I remember. Yeah. I had a general manager text me as soon as they signed Fields, and he just said, Tyrod Taylor's still their best quarterback. And I was like, probably. And it's just, I think as a passer, he probably is. You worry about the injuries and all that other stuff.